Have you ever felt like your own family was against you? Like a dream you held dear was crushed before it even had a chance to bloom? Today, we're diving into an ancient story that feels incredibly modern. A story of betrayal, jealousy, and a dream that refused to die. This is the story of Joseph, a young man whose world was turned upside down by the very people he should have been able to trust the most. Imagine this, you're the second youngest of 12 brothers. Your father, Jacob, clearly has a favorite, and it's you. He even gives you a stunning, multicolored coat, a symbol of his special affection. While it feels good to be loved, it paints a huge target on your back. Your older brothers, they see that coat, they see the extra attention, and their hearts fill with a bitter jealousy that grows day by day. They can't even speak a kind word to you. Now, Joseph wasn't just a favorite son, he was also a dreamer, and his dreams weren't just random nighttime adventures. They were vivid, prophetic, and, to his brothers, incredibly arrogant. In one dream, he saw them all binding sheaves of grain in a field. And suddenly, his sheaf stood upright while their sheaves gathered around and bowed down to it. Can you imagine telling your already resentful older brothers that? As you can guess, it didn't go over well. They retorted, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" The dream only fueled their hatred. But Joseph had another dream, even more grandiose. This time, he saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down to him. When he told this one to his brothers and his father, even Jacob was taken aback. "What is this dream you had?" he asked. "Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" Though Jacob rebuked him, the Bible says he kept the matter in his mind. He sensed something more to these dreams. But his brothers? They saw only the peak of arrogance. Their jealousy was now at a boiling point. The stage for betrayal was set. One day, Joseph's brothers were out grazing the family's flocks near a place called Shechem. After a while, Jacob, perhaps a little worried, called Joseph and said, "Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me." So, filled with youthful innocence and duty, 17-year-old Joseph set off to find them, wearing his famous coat. He was walking into a trap, and he had no idea. When he finally found them near a place called Dothan, they saw him coming from a distance. And in that moment, the simmering hatred boiled over into a full-blown conspiracy. "Here comes that dreamer," they sneered to one another. "Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say that a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams." It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The very people who should protect you are plotting your demise, all because of jealousy and a couple of dreams. But one brother, Reuben, the eldest, had a sliver of conscience. He couldn't stomach the idea of shedding their own brother's blood. He proposed a different plan, hoping to secretly rescue Joseph later. "Let's not take his life," he urged. "Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern here in the wilderness. But don't lay a hand on him." So, as soon as Joseph reached them, they wasted no time. They grabbed him, tore off his beautiful, multicolored coat, the very symbol of his father's love and their resentment, and threw him into an empty, waterless pit. Imagine the terror and confusion Joseph must have felt. One moment, he's looking for his brothers, and the next, he's in a dark hole, betrayed and abandoned. And what did his brothers do? They sat down to eat a meal. The callousness is just staggering. While they were eating, another brother, Judah, had an idea. He saw a caravan of Ishmaelite traders on their way to Egypt. A new plan formed in his mind, one driven not by a guilty conscience like Reuben's, but by a cold, twisted logic. "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood?" Judah asked. "Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." It was a monstrous suggestion, but to them, it seemed like a good compromise. They could get rid of Joseph and make a profit without directly killing him. His brothers agreed. So, when the traders came by, they pulled Joseph up out of the cistern. For 20 shekels of silver, they sold their own brother into slavery. Just like that, Joseph was bound and led away. His life irrevocably changed. He was headed to a foreign land, a slave, stripped of his family, his freedom, and his coat. All he had left were the memories of his dreams, which now must have seemed like a cruel joke. Meanwhile, Reuben, who had been away during the sale, returned to the cistern to carry out his rescue plan. But he was too late. He looked into the pit and Joseph was gone. In despair, he tore his clothes and went back to his brothers, crying, "The boy isn't there. Where can I turn now?" But there was no turning back. The brothers had to cover their tracks. They took Joseph's coat, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the beautiful garment in its blood. They brought the blood-stained coat back to their father, Jacob, with the rehearsed, heartless line, "We found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's coat." Jacob recognized it immediately. The sight of the torn, bloody coat broke him. He cried out, "It is my son's coat. A ferocious animal has devoured him." Joseph has surely been torn to pieces. His grief was immense and inconsolable. He tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son for many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. "No," he said, "I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave." So his father wept for him, completely unaware that his beloved Joseph was still alive, sold into slavery by the very sons who were now pretending to comfort him. This isn't just a story of family drama from thousands of years ago. It has a powerful lesson about the destructive nature of jealousy and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold, and presumed dead. His dreams seemed utterly shattered. His brothers thought they had silenced the dreamer and his dreams forever. But here's the amazing thing. They couldn't destroy the dream because the dream wasn't just Joseph's. It was part of a much larger plan. This moment of ultimate betrayal was not the end of Joseph's story. In fact, it was the beginning of the most incredible chapter of his life. The pit was not his grave. It was a doorway. The path to slavery in Egypt was, paradoxically, the path to the fulfillment of his dreams in a way he, and especially his brothers, could never have imagined. The story teaches us that even when we face betrayal from those closest to us, even when we hit rock bottom and feel completely abandoned, it may not be the end. Sometimes, the darkest moments are just a part of a larger, unseen plan. Joseph's journey from the pit to the palace is one of the most powerful redemption stories ever told, reminding us that no matter how deep the pit, hope can survive. What his brothers meant for evil, a greater power would eventually turn into something good. Think about it. Has there been a pit moment in your own life? A time when you felt abandoned or a dream was crushed? Joseph's story encourages us to hold on, to maintain our integrity, and to trust that even the most painful detours can lead to an unexpected and wonderful destination. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most compelling stories. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the powerful narratives that have shaped our world. Let me know in the comments what lessons you take away from Joseph's experience. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that make us who we are.